Hello, Patreon supporters, and welcome to your exclusive content. We are going to review Bumblebee, the Transformers movie that answered the question of how did Bumblebee get to Earth. That's a dumb thing to say.
The Trans movie.
At least I can say it. At least
Transformers
I can say
movie
it.
that
was
answered
bad.
the question that we never were really asking to begin with about Bumblebee. Yes.
Bumblebee, the movie, the Transformers. This is our first Transformers movie without Michael Bay.
So look it. I was actually excited to see the movie. I'm going to be super brief for several reasons. It, for me, started very slowly, and because of that, I fell asleep.
Typical.
And when I woke up, there was a lot of action on the screen, but I didn't have any idea how far into the movie I was or whatever, so I left. I didn't mind what I saw, but it just very slow for me, and I was a sleepy guy. So I'm not saying it was bad. Nothing I saw was bad. I just felt the beginning was slow. Is that fair, Brian?
Yeah, I mean, sure. The beginning was slow.
Okay, well, that's my assessment of the movie.
So let me give you a little bit of a synopsis before we jump into this. On the run in the year 1987, Bumblebee finds refuge at a junkyard in a small Californian beach town. Charlie, on the cusp of turning 18 and trying to find her own place in the world, discovers Bumblebee, battle-scarred and broken. When Charlie revives him, she's quick to learn that he's no ordinary He's not an
He's no ordinary VD, no.
VW bug. That stayed in. Hey,
he is a very aggressive form of VD. If you have Bumblebee, I need you to consult your physician immediately.
These crazy kids and their crazy VDs.
Listen, you pay for this episode, you're getting it as is. I hope you enjoyed my flub. Oh, well. Listen, Brian and I saw this movie together. I want to preface this. Brian and I went to the movie theater together.
Yes, and Josh,
and I
wish you were with us because CJ wanted to talk to me so bad. He tried multiple times in the beginning of the movie. The screen comes up and it says 1987, and he goes, I wasn't even born when this movie takes place. And I look at him and I say, if you continue talking, you will be dead before the movie rolls.
I didn't even get a chance. And then there was like 4 80 songs back to back. I was like, how many 80 songs are they cramming into this? He goes, how about you cram it? So that I
was like, I don't know, CJ. How many times do you think my foot will cram up your ass?
So I spent the whole time.
Talk more, please.
Anytime I had something fun to say, I put my head underneath my hoodie right by the collar, and I talked to myself like, well, at least that guy's gonna get insurance payout. Like
my hoodie thinks I'm hilarious.
Underneath my hoodie, it was like I have something funny to say.
I was not aware that you guys were seeing it together. So had I been aware, I may have done I may have done my best to join. But
it was
that sounds like a better time than I had.
Super at last minute, but I couldn't believe. I was just like, I miss Josh. So when I sat next to Josh during the Meg, I could just talk.
I do not like talking during movies.
He was so bitter about it.
Especially movies that I'm going to be expected to talk about, so I like to pay attention.
I will totally talk during a movie.
It was worth it.
I hate it.
Let me open up with this. First off, as we said at the top, this is the first Transformers movie without Michael Bay, and damn do I think they were better for it. I love the design of the Transformers. I thought they looked fantastic. It was nice to hear Bumblebee and like see Cybertron. Brian, I think you had something in particular to say about the fact that this was non-Michael Bay.
Oh yeah, you know what you could you know you're not watching a Michael Bay movie when you can actually understand what action is happening on the screen. I was quite pleased to see that when one other giant robot punched another giant robot, I knew who punched who. Yeah, I mean, I was very impressed with this movie.
Yeah.
For the most part. There are some things that I could have done without, but
what were they?
Well, we'll get there. Let me talk about what I like first. We're going to do the poop sandwich, all right? We're going to do positive, and then opportunity, and then another positive, right?
Tickle
so positive.
Yeah, the tickle slap. I get it.
Right. The positives were this. The design of the Transformers were great because they're back to form, 80s, classic 80s style. So whether or not that like, oh, that makes sense, like in a movie I'm watching in 2018, it got the nostalgia feels going. So it was cool. I really enjoyed that. All the scenes on Cybertron, Optimus Prime being awesome, fantastic. I liked Haley Steinfeld. I think she's fantastic in almost anything she does. She's very genuine. She's very,
Yep.
She's very likable. And I liked the approach they took. This whole little ET story, but with Bumblebee.
Like E.T., yeah.
It felt very much like ET, but with Bumblebee.
Probably why I fell asleep.
Yeah, because you don't like ET, do you?
I haven't ever seen it.
I haven't seen ET in its entirety either.
What the fuck is wrong with the two? Anyway,
it's an awful movie.
Ultra.
Anyway, there were some things that I could have done without. The whole Memo storyline, I was very confused as to what his role in the movie was, why he was even existed. I could remove that character from the story, and it takes place everything happens the same way.
Right.
There was no reason for that character.
They didn't shoehorn the romance like they did in all the other
That is one thing I did
movies.
like, is that it wasn't like, oh, we need to have a romance between the two of them. I appreciate that, but at the same time, like, give me a reason why this kid is here, besides the fact that he just... Listen, no one, I don't care what year it is, 1987 or 2017 or whatever, you don't just walk into somebody's garage to tell them, someone you've never met, to tell them that you're madly in love with them because you were watching them across from your churro stand. That's not how this works. At all. Like, literally, that happened. I'm like, what the fuck? He's just walking right in. Like, who the hell does that? What an asshole.
It was the
And, like,
80s, man. Things were
She's
different.
forced to befriend him
I gotta tell you,
because he saw something she shouldn't have.
that seems ballsy.
Yeah.
Good for him. He's got more moxie than I do, but you don't do that. Come on, have some respect.
You're kind of, I'm getting more interested in the movie at this point. Why couldn't this be earlier?
I mean, it was like, and I will say this, it was slow to start. There was a lot, like, I don't feel like they really fleshed out why Charlie was such an outcast until much later in the movie.
Yeah, I'm going to chime in here because you're starting to go down the rabbit hole. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it when we were in the theaters. I enjoyed it when we left. It was by no means a perfect film. It was by no means garbage. It was an adequate movie, but it definitely was better than the last 3 Transformers movies.
I don't know about 3. Go easy.
It was definitely better than last night. Like, way better than last.
First off, I enjoy the third Transformer.
It's okay. Maybe I would put it on the par of the.
I would put it on par.
Is
with
that
the third
Dark of the
Transformers.
Moon is what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I put it there.
I really enjoyed Dark.
Okay, I agree. I thought it was really good. The only thing that I thought it was probably.
Wow, if you're saying it's that good, I'm gonna have to watch it again.
It really was. It was very nice. You had a problem with Memo, Brian. I just have questions about John Cena's character, Agent Burns.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
No. They were saying Boo Earns.
Burns.
I was I just don't understand. Was he good guy? Was he bad guy? Was he good guy that turns bad guy? Was he bad guy that turns good guy?
I'm going to explain
What
this.
was
to you,
John
CJ.
Cena?
Are
I
you
don't
ready?
understand. Yes, please.
He is an American military man. He is what the American military is in every one of these movies, which, oh, hey, we kind of like him. Wait, why is he doing that? That seems kind of odd. That's mean. Wait, but no, he did this really nice thing again. Oh, but that doesn't make sense. Like,
You're saying he's just a more tough, bigger Josh Duhamel? Like,
yeah, well, I mean, he kind of flips-flop.
I will say this.
Flops back and forth throughout the
John
movie.
Cena did something that no one has ever done in Transformers movies.
You need to set this up real quick. You need to set this up
Please,
before
go ahead.
you
Go
allow
ahead.
the punchline.
Go
So,
ahead.
especially for Josh, since he probably was sleeping during this part. So, 2 Decepticons come to Earth. They know Bumblebee is there. They meet up with the American military. They're like, hey, give us access to all of your technology, and we'll enhance your technology, but on top of that, we'll be able to find our fugitive. And they're all in a meeting saying, well, maybe we should do this. And John Cena's the one guy in the room going, you realize they call themselves Decepticons, right?
Right.
It's legitimately a line in the movie, and I'm like, yeah, all right, good on you.
Yep, I was,
Good on you,
I was
John
with it.
Cena. He's like,
And
it's like right there in the name, deception.
He said
That's
he said it
solid.
with such earnest delivery. You're just like, yeah, I believe that's 100% right. Yep.
So yeah, I mean, I liked his character too. I just
But
feel like
it was just he was like, I got scarred because of this, and
it's not even that he's scarred. You put like that kind of character in this mold of, well, when Bumblebee is not fighting a giant robot, what does he have to worry about? Oh, let's put this guy in here. But when Bumblebee is fighting a giant robot, he needs an ally. Okay, well, this can be that guy too. He's just he's this ambiguous character who is just like, well, I'm doing this because I have to, because by the book I have to hunt down alien life forms. But I know you're a good one, so I'll help you out. Like he's this ambiguous character. He's neither good nor bad. He is there to serve whatever the plot kind of needs. So I mean, that's all it is. And I honestly, Josh, you're a John Cena fan. He was good in this movie.
He was
I
good.
enjoyed him. I thought he was very well.
I am actually a John Cena fan in movies. I liked Blockers very much. And he like anytime he shows up, he's fantastic. His timing is on point. I'm
not gonna lie. I was not a John Cena fan until this movie. I watched this movie. I was like, oh, he does have some chops. He does have the ability to do this, and not just in the way of, oh, insert John Cena in crazy action role here. Like he did
think of
some
it this
stuff.
way for me, right? So, and I'm only defining it because I think it's important for people to understand my thought process. I was a fan of the Rock movies and like The Rundown and what
I like
standing tall. Like
that's a good one too.
Like,
yeah.
What about the game plan? Were you a fan of the game plan?
I like the
game plan, Tooth Fairy. Like I liked all of those. And it was really just him learning how to act. And I feel similarly about John Cena.
Yeah,
and
I think he gets better every time he takes a role.
I do think John Cena could be bigger, but certainly not as big as
The Rock.
Oh no! I mean, he's
because he stopped working
the biggest actor in Hollywood at this point.
Yeah,
he is.
So, listen, I thought the action was also very good. As Brian said, I could actually see what was going on. I could follow it. There were explosions, but everything didn't explode, which was a very nice welcome change.
Okay, yeah, you can see the action. It wasn't like massive explosion, shaky camera. Oh, Megan Fox's ass, shaky camera. It was actually like a very well thought out story. And it's not a story that we're uncommon with. We've seen the, young girl, young boy, young kid befriends alien from other world and helps them with otherworldly things story. But out of this is now the 6th Transformers movie. This is most certainly in the top 3.
Yeah.
It was very well done. It did some stuff to retcon and reboot some of the things that have happened before.
Yeah.
Which I'm okay with because I feel like the path that we were going down in the Michael Bay movies was exhausted. There was nothing else we could do with that. The stories that they were coming up with, obviously from the last night, were ridiculous. Like, even, I was like, oh my gosh, really? Is this what we're really doing? So this is great. This is a fresh start. This is a nice jumping off point. You can do an entire series of movies based on what you did in this. It's nice that we got to see Optimus again at the end. And, you can build an entire other line of movies from this starting point. I think this is a really great way to kind of introduce yourself to the franchise. Let's face it, it's been over 10 years since the first movie came out. So it makes sense. It makes sense to reboot it. There's a whole generation of people who have never seen a Transformers movie. And I know that's weird to think about, but it's true.
That is weird to think about.
I'll also say this. This was by no means a completely new story that we've never ever seen before. This did have some of the typical
thematically it was pretty on par with this. We've seen it 100 times.
Yeah, this is not a completely original story. We've made mention to E.T. and things like that. Like this isn't brand new. However, I thought they did a really good job with it. And I thought there was a story to tell, that it did it really well. And the things that were cliched, they were at least interesting. Like, it wasn't just sitting there boring and you could just kind of paint by numbers.
And the comedy was on point.
The comedy was on point, including B.
Including the comedy from B. There's this entire scene where he's like trying to watch more. He's trying to watch TV. He tries to get into the house. He's supposed to stay hidden. He ends up destroying the entire house. That's a very endearing and comical scene. Like it was.
B was. Remember, like the first couple movies, he was a stumbling motherfucker. Like
Yeah, he was.
right. You know what I mean? And yes, that is endearing. So my big takeaway from our conversation, and I'll apologize to the to the many Patreon subscribers, but it just was so slow. Now, after this conversation, I'm excited to see it again.
Good.
It's just gonna have to wait until
Yeah, I would recommend this movie. I thought it was really good. The other thing too was Otis. Oh God! First off, that name. Can we just talk about that name, Otis, for a moment? Her younger brother, Otis. Otis? Why?
Otis was a popular name in 1987. Well, I don't know what your problem
really?
is.
I have never met a single Otis, and I'm from 1988. I've never met an Otis.
Wasn't. I'm joking.
Oh. Anyway, Otis, that was a dumb name. I liked the character. He had a good arc to him. I thought that their relationship got better. I even liked the stepdad. I thought that he was pretty funny. Overall, I enjoyed it. Definitely one of the top 3 Transformer movies. I would maybe go Transformers 1, Dark Side, and then this one. So it's definitely in there. And I think it's exciting to see what can be done with a different group at the helm. So I would recommend it. I would give it a solid B for Bumblebee.
I'll give it a D for delightful.
You made that joke when we left the movies. Like,
I know, right?
Just recycling the same joke.
Well, listen, the Patreon subscribers haven't heard my joke. Why are you gonna call me out like that?
It's true.
So you said you put the first movie
Transformers 1 as
and then,
1.
And then Dark of the Moon.
Dark Side of the Moon, right?
And then this.
And then this, yeah.
But not Revenge of the Fallen?
Revenge of the Fallen is not that great.
I'm not a fan of Revenge of the Fallen. I'm not.
All right. I was. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Also, Brian, can you just tell us some of the, spoiler alert, obviously, if you've gotten this far into anything. Brian, can you tell me what Transformers you saw that you were really excited to see, especially in this redesigned version of the Transformers? Was there anyone that really caught your eye?
Most notably Shockwave, which is the tall purple one with the oblong, like sideways face. And honestly, Soundwave's in this, but Soundwave's in this as his like retro 80s, like he's got the tape
player.
deck in his chest and pops out and becomes Ravager, and like that happens where he sends Ravager after Optimus, and I'm like, oh my god, this is so cool. I was very excited for that.
You know what? I'm actually, the stuff on Cybertron was really freaking cool. I like seeing there was Shatter. He was on there. It was pretty cool. Cliff Jumper, which I thought he ate it.
Cliff Jumper,
didn't he?
yeah.
He ate it pretty hard, didn't he?
Yeah, he got riggedy wrecked.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. There was a quick cameo or a quick like tip of the hat, and Brian actually missed it.
I did
when we were watching it. Shoot, what was his name though? What's his name?
Simmons,
Agent Simmons, who was played by
John Turturro
in the first couple movies. The younger version of him is actually shown in this movie. You got to listen and pay attention, and you'll see it. And he kind of looks like him, but he was in there. So they are tipping the hat to some of the already established timeline. But Brian's right; they did retcon quite a bit, and I have a feeling we're not gonna, when it comes to the new Transformers timeline that we're coming into. I don't think we're gonna see Witwikis. I don't think that stuff's going to be canon anymore. So that's my other question, Brian. What did you think that we lost because of this movie, and do you think they were better off having lost it?
See, I don't know, because it's a little ambiguous as to what's retconned. Like, you technically can have change 3 things and still have all the original movies if you want.
You need Witwiki story.
Like, you can keep the Witwiki stuff if you really want to.
You need to.
Well, the only thing you can't keep about it is that in the first Transformers, they all had just landed on Earth.
I'd be fine with reintroducing the Witwiki story and starting the series over from here.
Right.
Because, like I've said a million times, give me all the Transformers.
Right.
All of it. Just do it again. I mean, is anybody against doing all this again?
No, do it again, but don't cast Megan Fox.
I mean, it'll be a different Megan Fox, though. You know what I mean? It'll still be Megan Fox.
Can we at least agree that we don't need the storyline of the guy who's boning the minor who carries around the law that says it's okay? Because that's creepy as fuck, and I'm okay if that's gone forever.
Wait, what?
The first movie with Mark Wahlberg, right? His daughter is boning a guy who's older than her, and she's a minor, right? She's underage, and he has a laminated card in his wallet of the Romeo and Juliet law that explains it's okay that they're boning.
I don't remember
carrying
that
it
at all.
around in his pocket, in his wallet. He just whips it out at the bar. It's like, here you go. Here's the Romeo and Juliet law. What the hell?
I don't remember that.
How do you not remember that?
I don't
I do not
remember.
remember that
That's
at all.
so disturbing. Anyway, it happened.
But now
no
I'm going to rewatch
recollection.
Age of Extinction. I'm just saying.
It happened. That's in Transformers.
How old are you? 20. She's a 17-year-old girl. So we can work this two ways. One, I punch you right in the mouth and you call the police on me.
Dad.
Or two, I just call the cops on you because this is illegal. She's a minor.
We're protected by the Romeo and Juliet laws.
We dated for a little while. I was a sophomore and he was a senior. It's fine.
No, it's not fine.
We've got a pre-existing juvenile foundational relationship. Statute 2705-3.
What? Texas statute? You know how those two ended up?
Love.
Dead.
So if we're cool with just getting rid of the, hey, we found a Transformer. Yeah, I'll be okay.
I think we found a Transformer.
I'm from Texas, you know? I'm not from Boston.
I'm an inventor.
I'm from
You're,
Texas.
by the way,
No,
your
that's
fucking-
not a Boston
your fucking
accent.
Boston accent.
It's
is the
not.
worst
No.
ever.
I'm not even going to dignify Mark Wahlberg's accent at all. I'm not doing it. It's not a thing I'm going to do. It's not happening. All right. So listen, we like the movie, but it's up to us to also kind of tell you a little bit about it. And I'd like to start with some second opinions. All right. So I pulled some reviews so we can kind of read them and see what some other people thought. So this is from user Don't Want. The expectation was to know Bumblebee, but this was hardly about him. The story is centered the story is centered around the teenage girl and her personal issues. Minimal action and Bumblebee's dark side and warrior history is also not shown. Did not meet expectations at all.
All right. Well, I'm too cool for usernames. Says the worst movie of the 2018. A completely waste
The
of time.
2018.
Yep.
The story has lots of bugs. An example? How is possible that a guy enter in a private property because he want to know the girl without even know her and without even knock on the door? How is it possible that two guys enter in a military zone without even been noticed?
Wait, who were the two guys that entered the military
And
zone
the
without being noticed?
Decepticons? They are not able to connect to the military systems with all their technology?
It's
They need-
real quick. That ended with an exclamation point.
Question mark.
Exclamation
how I
point, question
read it.
mark, exclamation point, question mark. It's
how I read
4
it.
punctuation marks.
That's how I read it.
I know, I agree.
They need the help from the humans. Really? Bah! And there are many more. I can save only the special effects and obviously the 80s soundtrack.
To answer your question, CJ, Charlie and Memo break onto the military base at the end of the movie.
I don't remember that at all.
Anyway. Okay. One more review from Mega. Is that Megajohn?
Megajohn.
85?
Megajohn. He's got a
You get it?
Megajohn.
That sounds like something Godzilla would trample. Anyway. Transformers found its all-spark after all with director Travis Knight and writer Christina Hudson. Bumblebee is the first Transformers film that has a tangible plot that's not lost in the CGI shuffle. The film is grounded and greatly benefits form a more character-driven approach versus the spectacle CGI. Is that rat salad?
Rat salad.
Rat salad from the previous films. Wow.
I guess that person did not
Megajohn.
like the previous
Megajohn, I'm
Bumblebee.
stealing rat salad. That's mine now. It's very reminiscent of classic Amblin films. There's so much heart and passion in this film, and it actually takes the time to develop the characters. That's the key to great filmmaking.
Wasn't Gremlins an Amblin film?
I don't know, maybe.
No, Spielberg didn't produce Gremlins. Amblin is Spielberg's production company.
The more you know. Oh, okay, that was it. All right, let's turn
That
to
was it. That was the end of the review, and I agree.
Let's turn to the larger numbers. We're looking at Rotten Tomatoes at the time
Gremlins was a fucking Amblin film.
All right, congratulations.
Rules.
Wow, all right, good job. I'm not as in tune with my production companies, okay?
So Metascore has it at a 66 on a scale from 100. Rotten Tomatoes, the tomato meter reads 92% certified fresh by critics and 79% by audiences. I would agree with those numbers.
I don't buy the whole Metacritic score. It's always way lower.
I buy Metacritic more than Rotten Tomatoes. We're not getting into this. We've done this like a trillion times. So let's talk some numbers. The budget for the movie was estimated at $135 million. Opening weekend, it grossed $21.6 million. Estimated to go above that. This is looking around $309 million. So this thing's a hit, man. This is gonna do well. Who would like to guess at the taglines for the movie? We got 2 taglines for this one. Who takes a guess?
Buzz.
Josh?
Yeah. Landing on a planet near you.
Okay. No, you guys went way more creative. Well, Josh went better than Brian. I don't know what Buzz was all about.
Wow.
You could have said
Bumblebee.
You could have said, "See what all the buzz is about." That would have been a better tagline than just Buzz. All right. So the actual tagline.
Listen, don't freaking edit my taglines. All right.
Hey, I'm watching Mad Men. It's just something I have to do right now. That and drink old fashions. Every adventure has a beginning, or every hero has a beginning. They really cranked out the marketing department real well for this.
That's actually a really good callback to Mad Men.
Oh yes, I correct tags and I drink old fashions. That's what I have to do. That's
so good.
That's what I'm all about.
Okay.
Listen, enjoyed the movie. We said B's and D for delightful. Josh is now rethinking the movie, and hopefully we'll see it on iTunes when it comes out. Anything else we gotta say?
Nope.
Listen, I'll say this. I know
Optimus Prime is badass.
I know that for this month, Brian and I were gung-ho to go see this movie. We were kind of all about it, and Josh was not. But I really thank you, listeners, Patreon supporters, actually, for making us go see this movie. And I think that you have done your job, supporters, by maybe turning Josh around on this film. And hopefully when you see it, Josh, you can report back and tell us what you thought about it. Patreon supporters, thank you so much, number one, for your understanding of giving us some time to see this movie, technically for the month of December. With the holidays and everything, it meant a lot to us that you didn't give us any guff for taking our time. So, A, thank you. B, your support means so much to us, so continue to support this podcast. We really cannot do it without you. So thank you so much for everything that you guys do, and we will see you next month when we review a movie together.
Well, welcome to the club, 'cause you are that kind of nerd.